For several months, amateur astronomers from around the world observed the third interstellar object. After Oumuamua and Borisov, the new object was dato capture and Tias unusual fenomeno, which changed its characteristics every week. It all began with an amateur astronomer named Leslie Pelter, who observed from Holman Severichilia. For weeks, he tracked an interstellar body using a 40-inch telescope equipped with a cryogenically cooled camera and a high-precision guidance system connected to NASA ephemerides. At first, nothing unusual, just a rapidly moving body from the depths of space. Its green tail glowed due to carbon monoxide and nickel. The object was detected just a week before everything changed. On the morning of September 19th, exactly at 2:00 UTC, something appeared on Leslie's screen that astonished him. 3 smaller objects formed around the main emerald body, and 9 faint points, barely noticeable, but moving in perfect formation around the main body. In his photographs, they look like little lights around a lantern. He posted his pictures on several astronomical forums, but at first many professionals dismissed them as noise or cosmic rays. However, within the next 48 hours, the James Webb, Hubble, Very Large Telescope in Chile, and Keck Observatory confirmed these observations. These tools, designed to study the faintest galaxies at the edge of the universe, did not give false signals, but their uniformity struck them. Spectral data showed that all 9 objects had the same speed, the same trajectory, and the same green tail as the main object, thus confirming that they were not from our solar system. At that moment, every professional and amateur astronomer saw only one object. Now there were 10. Spectral studies also showed that all 9 objects had a similar metallic signature: nickel, cobalt, and high-temperature alloys, like the main object, and the same unusual glow caused by carbon monoxide. But what set them apart from the 3 splinters was that they were about 10 times smaller, yet seemed to have a nuclear core twice as powerful. This mathematics was enough to make the scientists nervous. 3 octal was already puzzling them, its power estimated at 10 gigawatts based on its thermal profile and tail behavior. But 9 satellites seemed to emit 20 gigawatts each, a figure that defied physics. A thermonuclear reaction of such magnitude within such a small body would destroy it. Even our most modern reactors cannot compare the power with the mass. Our largest power plants weigh thousands of tons and produce only a few gigawatts. These objects are no larger than a city block, yet each emits 20 gigawatts, enough to illuminate entire countries contained within moving fragments from the depths of space. The thought that something so small can hold such a vast amount of energy is not only counterintuitive, but also frightening. When astrophysicists from the Emmet Institute began modeling this phenomenon, their supercomputers kept failing. No matter how they adjusted the parameters, temperature, pressure, plasma density, the equations did not match. It was impossible to pack the necessary fuel or containment field into an object of that size without using exotic metals or impossible pressure conditions. This required a technology that significantly surpassed anything existing on Earth. Some specialists proposed hypotheses about some exotic hybrid, division synthesis, others spoke of dark matter or some new substance, but all unanimously agreed on one thing. It was non-standard comet chemistry. However, the main question that tormented all observers was how such a thing could happen so suddenly. The 4 largest telescopes in the world monitored an object called 3I Atlas for months, while spacecraft like Juno, studying Jupiter, Parker, working near the Sun, and Bepi Colombo, heading to Mercury, gathered data from space. Alongside them, dozens of amateur astronomers around the world recorded every maneuver. However, none of these observers, neither on Earth nor in space, noticed the slightest hint of the 9 satellites before their appearance. According to data from the team of astronomers at Harvard, 9 objects appeared at 2:00 UTC on September 19th, and the event lasted only 1/100th of a millisecond. In terms of observation, it was so quick that one could say they simply blinked out of existence. For comparison, a human blink takes about 300 milliseconds, while a camera flash lasts about 5 milliseconds. Here, it is about a speed 30,000 times faster than a blink and 100 times faster than a flash. This incredible speed explains why no telescope or device could capture the moment of their appearance. This event was too fleeting for any of our sensors to capture it in real time. Although it may seem impossible, in deep space, such time scales are almost mundane. Gamma bursts can release more energy in a few milliseconds than all the stars in our galaxy combined. Cosmic rays penetrate planetary orbits at nearly the speed of light, about 300,000 kilometers per second, or 186,000 miles per second. This is enough to cover the distance from Earth to the Moon in just over a second, and even the largest black holes can collide and merge in fractions of a second. emitting gravitational waves that travel through space faster than we can react. In this regard, Harvard astronomer Avi Loeb immediately proposed a hypothesis about a mothership, a large interstellar craft that deploys probes as it approaches targets, in this case, our solar system. In an interview, he noted that one thing is clear. These probes are not random. They appear only after entering the solar system, and their power cores are denser and hotter than the main body. Perhaps they are intended to approach the planets while the main body stays at a distance. In the worst case, as he warned, they could be autonomous drones mapping our system or intended to take something valuable from it. However, others, like Michio Kaku, suggested a more natural explanation. He suggested that 3II Atlas might be a comet, a similar object that collided with a massive interstellar body. Considering that 3 and Atlas are significantly stronger than ordinary substances and move at a tremendous speed exceeding 60 kilometers per second, the impact could shatter it into tiny fragments, maintaining the same speed and trajectory. However, the smaller pieces and remnants of the original body could retain their kinetic energy. Yet the Avi Loeb argued that in this case, these fragments could not function as mini-reactors. No known breed is divided into 9 parts, each producing 20 gigawatts of energy. Furthermore, the green tails would not match ideally. Then a second shock occurred. Another interstellar comet named SWAN R2 was approaching from the opposite side, being 100 times more massive and brighter than 3I Atlas, its tail occupying 2.5 degrees of the sky, overshadowing even the largest comets in history. It will reach perihelion in the same week as 3I Atlas, effectively creating an interstellar traffic jam near the Sun. But what was truly shocking was that trajectory records showed the object follows a similar path every 2,000 years. Some UFO researchers claim that SWAN R2 may come to our aid, saving us from the Tri-I Atlas, acting as cosmic defenders. Others insist the opposite. Both SWAN R2 and Tri-I Atlas are here to take something valuable from the Sun, and their encounter at perihelion is not a coincidence. The third party argues that if the SWAN were truly hostile, the Earth would have been destroyed long ago during previous visits by the SWAN R2 2,000 years ago, when humanity was completely defenseless. Historians refer to Chinese imperial archives mentioning a celestial dragon in the 2nd century BC, as well as to Avalon tablets describing a splitting star that foretold great upheavals. Medieval European chronicles around the year 1000 record the appearance of a green guest with a tail, as it happens now, if one believes the cycles of Varan. Nevertheless, despite the abundance of data and growing public anxiety, national space agencies, including NASA, remain almost completely silent, making only brief statements about current observations and reiterating that evidence of a threat is lacking. As tensions rise around the world, emergency briefings are held inside the Pentagon and European Space Command, with leaks indicating plans for emergency scenarios, including interception and planetary defense. It is reported that China's National Space Agency has redirected its heavy rocket program towards a high-speed interceptor project. The European Space Agency is once again reviewing the blueprints for a classified mission to deflect asteroids, while private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin have received requests for platforms to quickly launch reconnaissance probes. Despite the public excitement, official agencies maintain restraint. NASA refused to disclose raw data on the JUST spectra, citing unverified sources. The Central Agency for Aeronautics and Space Research declined to comment on current planetary protection measures, while the White House limited itself to a single phrase: "We are aware of the situation and monitoring it." This silence fuels paranoia. The evidence is so convincing, why doesn't the world take action? Insiders whisper about a quiet mobilization. Devices are discreetly reassigned, defense satellites are put on standby, radio telescopes are activated in heightened readiness. LIOPA officially appealed to the United Nations for an emergency session regarding the policy towards interstellar objects. He went further, calling for the creation of a global working group and indirectly hinting at readiness for a nuclear response. Not for a strike, but to demonstrate capabilities. If these are probes, they are studying our radio spectrum, he says, adding that they should know about our defense power. We must demonstrate that we are capable of retaliatory actions. LIOPA proposes a coordinated readiness of the nuclear powers of Earth, the USA, Russia, China, France, and India. Devices from various countries, such as China's Tianwen-3, Europe's Hera, NASA's upcoming Dragonfly, and even Japan's Hayabusa Next, could be adapted for interaction with high-speed scouts. But here's the problem: time. When Oumuamua flew by, we had no interceptors ready. When I-Atlas appeared, we had more warnings, but the sudden appearance of 9 additional objects changed the schedule. We are not ready for 20 gigawatts of unknown power that may appear in the inner solar system. The inevitable October is inexorably approaching. Both interstellar objects will pass by the sun with minimal time interval. Ordinary people, looking at the green streaks before dawn, feel both admiration and fear. This is not a blurred UFO video. This is data from databases, data from telescopes, publications in peer-reviewed journals. This is reality. It is happening, and no one knows what it means. These events raise questions not only among scientists and governments, but also among ordinary people around the world. Will SWAN confront I-Atlas? Will 9 probes break formation and head towards Earth or the Moon? Will governments finally acknowledge the possibility of extraterrestrial presence? Or will October pass without incident, and 2 dazzling comets simply fly past the sun? And then scientists will sift through data in search of answers. The truth is, no one knows. The stakes have never been so high, and the data so alarming. This is not a science fiction film. This is real-time astronomy happening above us. 2 interstellar objects, one accompanied by 9 mysterious satellites, are approaching us. Their energy signatures contradict our physical laws, and their behavior defies expectations. The window for preparation is rapidly closing. As Avi Loeb said at the last press conference, the universe has finally knocked on our door. The question is, will we open it or hide? What do you think is really happening up there in the sky? A collision, salvation, or something entirely different?